log on the fire. Cook me up some bacon and some beans. Hello, Wonderhussy here, out in the middle of nowhere as usual, in a very, very, very remote and desolate part of Death Valley National Park. You can see what I'm talking about here. It's very desolate, and there's a ton of Joshua trees as far as the eye can see. And fun fact, the reason these things are called Joshua trees is because the early Mormon settlers, well, I mean, you can see they look pretty weird. So imagine you're a early pioneer coming from Missouri back in 1870, and you come out west, and well, you see these things. These wouldn't look anything like the trees you were used to. No, you'd feel like you're in some weird alien landscape. So I guess the Mormon settlers felt that these things kind of look like the prophet Joshua, raising his arms up to God. And so they called these Joshua trees. Fascinating tree. There's a whole bunch of them here. I'm enjoying myself, but I'll be honest. Well, I didn't just come out here to hang out with a bunch of Joshua trees. I came out here because I was looking for and found a cabin. That's right, it's one of those old abandoned miners' cabins that volunteers have fixed up, and they maintain it really nicely in this case, so that travelers like me can stay the night and find a place to seek shelter from either the broiling sun or the freezing cold. I mean, it could go either way out here. We're at a pretty good elevation. It's May 9th, so the rest of Death Valley is like up around 100 degrees. But up here, I don't know exactly. I'll have to check, but I'd guess we're at about 5,000 feet. So it's cool up here. It's only like in the 70s. But this cabin is super cool. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I already went in when I first got here. I wanted to make sure that I got a flag up and flying, because that's the custom at these volunteer cabins. These things are dotted all over the West, not just in Death Valley, not just in the desert, all over the West. You find these old cabins that are available for anyone to stay in on a first come, first served basis. But the way you indicate to other travelers that the cabin is occupied is you generally go inside and there's an American flag folded up in there, and you can hoist it up on a flagpole. And that way, if somebody's driving down in the valley along this long, bumpy road, they'll be able to see from quite a distance, like, the cabin's already taken, and they won't waste their gas and bang up their car needlessly driving all the way up here. Anyway, I parked my rig out here in front of the cabin because I'm probably just going to sleep in my rig tonight. No sense in making a bed inside when I already have a bed made in my car. But it was problematic trying to find a level place to park out here because it's real sloped. We're on the side of this hill, and oh gosh, I know it looks like there's a flat area down there, but I tried that and that's sloping too. And you know, I backed up and I pulled forward and I backed up and I pulled forward, and oh gosh, well, I hate to say this, but I ended up backing into a rock and doing some pretty significant damage to my bumper here. The only reason I'm even mentioning this is I feel like someone's gonna see it in the back of the video and go, what happened to your car? Anyway, now that we've addressed that elephant in the room, let's go on into this really nicely built and well-maintained little cabin. I mean, you can see from the outside, it's super solid. It's on this huge concrete and stone foundation. All of the walls are completely chinked up and sealed against rats or any kind of invaders, although, well, because it's in a national park, they still have to put this sign up warning you about hantavirus, which hantavirus is no joke. I'm glad to be reminded of it. I don't want to get hantavirus. It's spread by rat poo. And so this cabin, even though it is sealed up pretty tightly, I did notice a few little rat turds around, so gotta be careful and not do any sweeping or anything and breathe up the dust. Okay, anyway, check this little cabin out. It's pretty sweet. This is always the best part, you know, like unwrapping a piece of chocolate. I don't know what's gonna be inside this one. Okay, now for those of you who can't see or just like to be talked to, I'm gonna go ahead, pan around the cabin and kind of describe what we're looking at. But if you're one of those people that doesn't like that kind of thing and thinks I talk too much, well, you can just turn off the volume or turn down the volume and look at it at your own pace. Okay, it's one room. I'd guess it to be about, oh gosh, I don't know, 15 by 20 feet maybe. Really a cozy little cabin. I've been in a bunch of these volunteer cabins. I would guess I've been in like 20 or 30 of them. And this to me is one of the nicest, and it just has one of the coziest feels of any of them that I've been to. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We'll go around the room and I'll point out anything interesting, starting at the door we came in. So on the back of the door, there's some lists of rules, like cabin use guidelines, letting you know what the cabin etiquette is. You're not supposed to stay any longer than 14 days. Take all your trash with you. Everything in this cabin is just really built well. The door, look at the hinges. It's just put together so nicely. There's even a coat hook on the back of the door to hang your winter coat. You know, this would be real cozy in the wintertime. Okay, and then moving to the left, we're going counterclockwise. Well, we've got a sign that says Ye Old Christmas Tavern. I guess they must have had a little Christmas party here once. And there's just a bunch of the usual kind of supplies you find in these cabins. Cleaning supplies, bleach, bug spray. Oh, an extra cook stove, steel bowl, some dog bowls, barbecue supplies. Foot powder, medicated foot powder, I guess if you go hiking. There's a gallon of drinking water, which could be a lifesaver. There's a full tank of, little tank of Coleman propane, one of those green canisters. That's super cool. There's even some baby wipes back here that are still moist. So someone's been here recently. And there's these awesome little stools to sit around. Well, you could sit around the fireplace, or there's also this really neat wood burning stove in the middle of the cabin. So with this thing, you just open it up and stick logs in there, and I bet that thing would warm this cabin up right nicely. Man, this would be, can you imagine how cozy this would be in the winter, staying in here, looking out this view at that. I mean, they might even get snow up here in the winter sometimes. Matter of fact, I was actually caught in a snow flurry in this general part of Death Valley once, about a year ago. Matter of fact, it was in April, about a year and a month ago. It was actually snowing in this part of Death Valley, so I bet you anything they do get snow up here. And oh my God, speaking of Ye Old Christmas Tavern, this would be an amazing, amazing place to spend Christmas. But I digress. Anyway, there's these little stools, like I was saying, to sit around the fire that are essentially just giant paint cans with pieces of plywood laid over the top. But they make cool little, oh, they're nailed on. Look at that. They're cool little, those are neat little seats. I mean, that's all you need. You know, who needs a friggin' Barca-lounger? That's all I need to sit down and warm my bones by the fire. Then there's a little bit of kindling laid in to get a fire started. Looks like there's a little, oh, it's a little decorative monkey with some bananas on a giant banana leaf, I guess. I don't know, it's just kind of like a decorative little curio, maybe ashtray. And then above the fireplace, there's a really cool poster of Smokey Bear to remind you to be mindful, I guess, of your fire etiquette and fire safety and not burn down the Joshua Tree Forest. Oh, look, a Bible. Oh, there's a puzzle in there. There's some poker chips. I might have to do a puzzle later. That'd be fun. And then up here, we got books and maps. Oh, yeah, there's a little lending library here. The Solace of Fierce Landscapes. Crusader Gold by David Gibbons. The Americans. Classic. Love that kind of stuff. The Kent Family Chronicles. Man, these books had the best cover art. Oh, North and South. Remember that? I saw the movie that was on TV back in the day with Liz Taylor was in it, Patrick Swayze. Oh, an issue of The Week. I used to read that magazine. That's a pretty good news magazine. It's very unbiased. It kind of just presents things the way they were. Oh, and that's a recent edition, too. Might have to read that tonight. Oh, The Scientific American. Obviously a very erudite and smart crowd that comes to this cabin. The Glory of Our West. Oh, my God. This book looks amazing. It's real old. Has one of those spiral bindings, and it's probably just awesome photos of the American West. Yeah, it sure is. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. Big Bend National Park, I've been there. Oh, a romance novel, something for the ladies. Templar Knight, Forbidden Bride. He must resist her temptation. Okay, I'm just gonna put all these books and magazines back in the library and continue on our tour. It looks like there was a little sign that said, Home Sweet Home. Oh, made in 1985. Oh my goodness, I wonder why that fell down. That's too bad. I'll put it up here. Oh, a really old coffee pot from probably like the 1930s. Some old ore samples, rocks that were found in the area. A really old Folgers coffee can. Look at that. Old pictures of the mines. And oh, maybe that's the road up here when it's covered in snow. I bet it does get that much snow. Old photos. I'm not sure who Jackass Sam was. He looks like some old-time prospector from the area. Some more little artifacts that were probably found around here. Some old oil or kerosene lanterns. Those are cool. More bric-a-brac, little odds and ends, some candles. That's why it smells so good in here. There's a sugar cookie candle here. It smells amazing. There's a little hatch here. I don't know what this would be for. See, I'll move this nail. Oh, I guess it's just for ventilation. Well, I'll leave it open for now because we do need some cross breeze in here. It's hot. And then there's a picture of a real old-timey guy above the hatch. I don't know who he was. Yeah, here's another picture of the desert and snow. See? This place, oh man, it'd be so amazing to be up here in the snow. That is officially added to my bucket list now, to come up here in the winter sometime. I'd want to come with friends though, because, well, this road was gnarly enough in good weather. I can't imagine what it gets like in the snow. Look at this cool old photo of this beautiful woman. It looks like it's from the, I guess, 1920s, 1930s. It says Ozark Studio, Bentonville, Arkansas. So some beautiful young woman from Arkansas back in the day. I can't quite read what it says. Loving. I don't know. If she signed it, I can't read her name. Oh, it's so sad to think about her. She's probably dead now, but what a beautiful woman. Oh, look, there's a piece of reinforcement here along the ceiling from an old explosives box. High explosives. Danger. Dangerous. Huh, interesting. Okay, well, that's about it for the back wall. The side wall here is just windows. You can see my rig out there in the valley beyond. There's a couple of conventional chairs if you're too good to... well, if you're too good to sit on them little stools. And then, let's see, I guess this is sort of like the kitchen area. There's not a proper kitchen in here. There's no sink or anything. It's not plumbed. But it's like an old... Well, looks like old drawers from an old metal desk. Top drawer has some paper plates, some aluminum foil. Middle drawer, it's got a first aid kit. This looks like first aid supplies. Oh, there's some little more water. So there's actually quite a bit of drinking water in here, which is nice. And then the bottom drawer. Oh, here we got some kitchen supplies. Some spices, pepper, taco seasoning, some bowls, sugar packets, crackers. It's just some silverware. It's kind of grungy and crusty in here. And there's like a little rat poo, so use that at your own risk. And then like as far as food... Other than what's in that drawer, there's a few cans here. There's some chili, some refried beans, and some roast beef hash. And then I'm going to skip over up here. There's also a few more cans. Some soup, some pineapple. Oh, potato soup with bacon. Yummy. Oh, look, here's another one of those little windows. How cute. Look at that. Okay, anyway, back to this sort of kitchen area. This is the box where the flag was when I first got here. I will note that the flag was not folded to regulation. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but when I take it down, I'll do my best to fold it up the right way if I can remember how to do it. Okay, and then there's a whole bunch of log books. Okay, I think this one here is the most recent one, and somebody made it, handmade it, with really cool calligraphy. I'm trying to hide the name of the cabin. And I don't want to flip through it too much because there's probably the name of the cabin in it a million times. But look, it looks like somebody was here doing a silent retreat at one time because they wrote, "Silent retreat in progress. Please do not disturb. Thank you." And they must have hung that on the door and then hung out in this cabin in silence. Boy, that would actually be really cool to do if you just want to get away from everything and just be quiet and not talk to anyone. Come up here, hang up the flag, put a note on the door like to really keep people away. You know, like if you really wanted to be alone, that would be a good way to do it. Anyway, I'll look through this thing at length later, but in the meantime, it looks like the last people here was about 4 or 5 days ago. So apparently it's not that frequently visited because I'm here on a Sunday, so nobody was here over the weekend. There's some pots and pans. There's some really cute little teacups hung up on nails. Look at that. There's even a tea kettle. Oh, there's a fire extinguisher. That's good. Oh, here's a food safe, another bread box. What's in here? Oh, forks and knives, plastic forks and knives, paper plates. Oh, there's a few more supplies laid in here. Some trail mix, some Folgers coffee, some tea, some Mountain House dehydrated food, some dehydrated peas and corn. Wow, cool. It's like maybe an MRE, but it's unmarked, so I don't know what kind it is. I actually brought some coffee and stuff myself that I'm going to leave in here, so I'll add to the stash. And then there's like a cookie jar here, or an iced tea jar that's got some toilet paper in it, and a few emergency space blankets and matches, a few little things. And that's about it. That's the whole cabin. We've gone around the entire thing. And of course, I'll put everything back exactly the way I found it when I leave. I mean, look at this. Look at this composite shingle on the side. This is a really well-maintained cabin. Now, yeah, this is the kind of place where it'd be kind of a lot more fun to be here with friends, you know? Like, you could have a big campfire down here and look at the stars, hike up to the mine together, have some whiskey around the fire, you know, tell some tales, maybe play a game of cards or dominoes, something like that. But I'll be honest with you, I'm coming off a trip where I was with 3 other friends, my sister and 2 friends, for, oh gosh, about a week now, and I'm kind of tired because I did another trip right before that, and I've been around people for pretty much like the last 2 or 3 weeks solid, and well, I don't know about you, but every now and then I like my alone time, you know? I'm at heart, I think I'm an introvert. I've worked really hard to overcome my shyness, obviously, and so I feel like I have genuinely changed my personality to where I'm pretty extroverted most of the time. But I'm still an introvert at heart, and so it's very important to me to have my alone time now and then. And that's kind of part of the reason I drove up here. You know, my friends and I all camped out at the Trona Pinnacles last night, and then they all headed off on their ways. We kind of all parted ways. And I thought, rather than just go home right away to my roommate and my housemate, I'd rather just come out here and, you know, be alone for a while. And I really can't think of a better place to do it, you know what I mean? There is nothing or anyone out here. Okay, I guess what I'm gonna do is, it's only like, I don't know, 2 or 3 in the afternoon. I got plenty of time, so I think I'll try to hike up to this mine and check it out. But before I do that, I did bring, like I said, some instant coffees and some instant drink packets and a few little things to leave in the cabin, so let me go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? That's what's cool about these volunteer cabins. Everybody just leaves something that the next person might need. And I just think it's awesome. Whenever I start feeling down about humanity and like, oh, people are horrible. Well, I just think about places like this and how everybody looks after each other and everything seems to be A-okay in my book. Okay, I put all the instant coffee I brought in one Ziploc bag and some flavored water packets in another bag, and then I'm going to go ahead and stick them up in this upper drawer on this bread box here, because, I don't know, there's already some Folgers in here. I feel like that's probably a good place to put them. And I also noticed, I forgot to mention in my first go-around, there's a radio here. An old-time, like, transistor radio, and it looks like it's connected via a wire that runs all the way up, and then it's clipped to a nail on the roof, and I guess maybe there's, like, an antenna on the roof. Let's see if it works. See if we can get any radio stations. Actually, I don't know how this works. Is this battery powered? Yeah, I guess there's batteries in it. I don't want to waste the batteries. Let's turn it on real quick. Where's the power? Okay, I can't play more than like 10 seconds of that or I'll get a copyright strike on my account, but that's super cool. As far as I could figure out, there's only one radio station that comes in here, but it comes in crystal clear and it was some kind of country music. So, man, that is just really cool. Say what you will about new technology. There's no cell reception out here, but hey, apparently the old-fashioned radio comes in just fine. All right, well, before I hike up to the mine, I thought I would sit in here and have a little snack and read through some of these old logbooks. And for the most part, it's really nice stuff. People talking about how much fun they had, how cozy of a night they had, how beautiful the cabin is. Just really nice stuff for the most part. That is until I got to this entry here from June 8th, 2019, from somebody that goes by, I don't know if that's supposed to be Etivator, ETA, Viator, DERP, Desert Explorer Research Project. Anyway, it's a guy who goes, you know, been maybe 7 years since my last trip here, blah, 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 stayed the night, blah, blah, blah. Cabin was in good shape, blah, blah, blah. Many thanks to all who donate time, energy, and resources to maintain this amazing place. Eric. That's his name, I guess. Then he goes, PSS. Thankfully, social media types haven't ruined this cabin. No Wonderhussy needed. Well, I'll be. So I just wrote underneath it, hi, with some smiley faces and signed my name. Oh, well, I guess he doesn't like me. Can't please everyone. But hey, Eric, if you're watching this video, I'm here. Anyway, I'm not going to lie. Reading that did kind of put me in a funky mood. Nobody likes to be hated. But what are you going to do? I'm going to persevere, sack up. I'm going to go put on my hiking boots and hike up to check out this mine. You know, I read what I could about the history of this place in those logbooks and in the stuff that was in the cabin, and there really wasn't much information as to what kind of mine was here. I think it was like silver, lead, maybe. I'm not sure if it was just like one little guy working a claim or what. Oh wow, it goes back quite a way. Oh, maybe it was more than a one-man operation. This looks like a lot for one little lonely guy to do. Oh wow, look here. Holy cow. Oh, I mean, if we wanted to, yikeroos, it goes down, down, down. But I feel like that's probably not smart to do when I'm out here all by my lonesome. Okay, back outside. Golly, what a view! Okay, well, after hiking around, I came back down and I moved my car down here to where I thought it would be flatter. Then I did some repair work on my bumper. That ought to last till I get back to civilization. Thank goodness I had a roll of duct tape with me. I picked up a bunch of cans and melted bottles out of the fire pit. And speaking of campfires, I also, there was a bunch of wood down there. I brought it up here, stacked it, and then I went and collected some brush of my own so I could just have a small fire because, well, believe it or not, I have never once had a campfire all by myself. In all the solo camping I've done, I've never had a campfire alone. So I thought, even though I don't want to stay up late tonight, I should at least have a little fire. I also found another can of beans in my car that I don't need. It's one of those kinds that you need a can opener for, and I don't know, I just never ate them. So I'm gonna put them here inside the cabin with all the other canned goods. And then, you know, I wanted to do something nice for the cabin, so I also went around and collected a small bouquet of desert, well, I wouldn't really call them flowers, but, you know, little dry desert things, and made a little flower arrangement there by these old-time miners. So yeah, I'm kind of wiped out. I just want to sit down for a while. I got my little chair out here, got a glass of wine, and I'd say it's time to sit down, relax, and have a toast to this beautiful, well, late afternoon. Cheers. All right. My first ever solitary campfire. And what an amazing place to do this. Sun just went down over that ridge there like a big old pat of melted butter on a baked potato. I think I just have food on the brain because I'm starving. Fortunately, I made myself a good dinner. Tonight we're having a boil in the bag, ancient grains, black beans, avocado, and the crushed up remains of whatever corn chips I had left. That was a delicious dinner. Now I'm having a little cup of hot cocoa before bed. Now that I think about it, this is the perfect place and time to be contacted by that UFO everyone's always asking me if I've seen. And I've never seen a UFO. All the nights I've camped out in the desert, all the most random remote places, I've laid in hot springs and looked at the heavens and called to the heavens, come and probe me if that's what it takes, man, I want to know. But I've never gotten any response. But I got this weird little musical thing called an Artiphon Orba, I think it's called, Orba. It's a little like electronic music thing. Has all these different tones. Ooh, this one sounds good. This sounds like one that I could really contact aliens with. Let's see. Remember from Close Encounters? Come to me, aliens! No answer! What? There they are! They're coming for me! Ah! Take me away! I'm tired of this planet! Beam me up! I think I better lay off the cocoa. I better just go to bed. I gotta bust up this fire, put it out, shovel some dirt over it, and call it a night. dead out. Ooh, man, it is chilly up here. I can't believe it. I mean, this is Death Valley in May. Just a few days ago, in another part of Death Valley, I was dying almost of heat exhaustion. But it was cold last night. I was cozy. I had plenty of blankets. But then, oh gosh, it was so cold to get out of bed this morning until the sun finally came up over that ridge behind the cabin. Anyway, I'm going to take my coffee up to the cabin and write in the logbook before I leave. It ought to be maybe a little bit warmer in here at least. Okie dokie, finished writing in the logbook. Kind of got a little wordy in there, but just talked about what I'd been up to, how I did that backpacking trip, and I just wanted to be alone. And, well, I sort of felt obligated to list the things I had done to maintain this place so nobody could accuse me of trashing it. And then I went ahead and folded the flag as accurately as I was able to. I'm sure somebody will have something to say about the way I did it, but I did my best. Put it back in the box here. Took the flagpole down. That's there. Now I'm just gonna button her up and leave this cute little cabin, at least until the next time, because I will definitely be back to this place. Oh, one last thing I gotta point out. I didn't notice this when I was doing the first go around in the cabin, but there's a rattlesnake skin. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Laying there behind this little monkey thing. Yikes. I had a feeling those things are all over the place here, and I was real careful when I was hiking around not to step on any. Okay, I'm locking this up tightly. No one can accuse me of vandalizing or destroying this place, and believe me, that's happened before when I visited cabins. So hey, you saw it here first. I left this place better than I found it, and I 100%, 1000% enjoyed my time camping here. What an awesome spot.